Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying for Beginners with Jim Misiura. Today we're going to tie Mercer's Missing Link. Now this fly, you can tie it to match several different caddis and mayfly hatches. Basically what I'm saying is you could kind of tie this in whatever color you want. I'm going to tie this on this is a size 10 standard length dry fly hook, and the reason I'm putting it on a size 10 is because it makes it easier to demonstrate on the video. You can tie this down to as small as you want, but I'm going to make this one a sulfur, and for that I'm going to start with going to use Hemingway cream yellow thread. This is an 8/0. This is the twisted thread. This is very strong thread. We're going to start about a quarter of the way back on the hook, and we're going to get some wraps on there just to secure it. Now the first thing we're going to put on the rib, and for the rib I'm going to take the some Herl Krystal flash, and this is how I take my Krystal flash out of the package. I'm just going to use a single strand. Just cut a slice off the corner, and then you can take your whip finish hook and just pull out as many strands as you want out of that corner of the bag. So I'm going to go ahead and take off one, and we're going to tie this in. There's no real particular reason why I'm tying it in so high. It's not going to, it's so thin, and it's not going to affect the shape of the body any. But we're going to bring this down, and we're going to come down just slightly around the bend there. Now this is going to be a sulfur, so I'm going to use a little bit of dubbing. You can tie these, especially in the smaller sizes, and when you get down to size 16, 18, 20s, if you're tying an olive, just use olive thread. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to make this a sulfur, so I'm going to take some sulfur orange dubbing, and I'm just going to take a small amount. I'm going to turn that over so I can dub it easier. Very small amount, just enough, stuck to my finger, just enough to kind of change the color of the thread here. You can see I'm going to need more than that, but still you want the smallest amount, something that almost looks like you didn't even get any. Remember, you can always add more. We're going to see how far this goes. Go ahead and start right there at the rear, and then we're going to follow this through. It's a nice skinny body. And now I'm going to take that rib, and I'm going to wrap that and just palmer that forward. Nice equal barber pole spaces, and bring that up. That body is about a little more than half the length of the hook right now. Put a couple of wraps on top of it, and we could go ahead and trim that off and put that on the side for the next one. Now for the thorax, we're going to use a Peacock Herl. If I have the yellow one, I'm going to use that, and I don't see it. So what I think I'm going to use, I have a yellow ostrich Herl, So I'm going to take one of the yellow ostrich herl. And again, being that this is such a large hook, I'm going to use this just the way it is. If you have yellow peacock herl, if you're making a sulfur, yellow peacock herl would be good. But if you're making another colored, another fly, say an olive or a March Brown or a Henriksen, go ahead and use a regular peacock herl for the thorax. We're going to tie this in. The ostrich herl, you're going to see when I wrap it, it's going to be very large. It's going to almost look too big. And we're going to give this 5 or 6 wraps. Just there we go. You see when I pull it back, that's how large the herl is on these. You could actually stroke them to the rear. We're going to tie that off there. Put a wrap on top of it. And we can break that off. Clean that up a little bit. Now I'm going to take a small piece of poly yarn, or Z-lon will work. And we don't need a lot. See, this was the whole thickness. I'm going to go ahead and take that in half. And this is going to look like spent wings of a mayfly. Or just, if you're fishing over a caddis hatch, it could look like the shuck of the caddis. Just going to tie this in. Go ahead and tie it in straight over the hook shank first. And then we can make that, center it. And then we can go ahead and tie this, figure 8 it. Get that one. And you want to tie it towards the back a little bit so that it's like that. And then we'll take the other one and we're going to tie that back. So you kind of have that right there. That one was a little bit, there we go. Now I'm going to take, I have a very large piece of elk hide here, and I cut some off, and we're going to take about maybe 1/4 of a pencil's thickness, and I have it in my hair stacker already. Take the loose hairs and underfur out. Tap that. I always raise my hair stacker just a little bit. Tap it again, and you'll get more sticking out that you could grab onto. As it is, it's probably just about 1/4 of an inch sticking down. So we're going to take this and we're going to size that up, and we want that to come to the back of the hook shank there. Get that to the bend, maybe not even, just to the end of the body. We're going to go ahead and wrap this in. We're going to lift up that front. Yeah, we'll put some wraps in front of that. Just kind of stand it up like you would with a caddis fly. Got some wild ones in front there. Actually going to clean that up and at the same time kind of make the front of that fly. A couple of wild ones there, trim out of the way. You kind of want those Z-lon wings or the poly yarn wings to stay out to the side there. Now I'm going to take a hackle and I'm going to use, this is a Dun Grizzly beautiful sandy dun grizzly here. And this is actually a size 10, so I need a rather large one for this. But use your hackle gauge. Always use your hackle gauge to get the to get those hackles the right size. Proportion is a big thing that I see that guys don't do. I'm gonna actually put this on my hackle gauge, and there's about the 10 is about there. I'm going to prepare this. You stand it up at the right angle, try to get them at a right angle there, and then cut them going up, leaving stubble on there. You leave some stubble on there. Here, this one I left it a little bit closer. And we're going to tie this in. I'm going to take this and I'm going to wrap it. I'm going to wrap it, counter wrap it, go in the opposite direction. Usually when you usually go this direction, we're going to go this way. And the purpose of this, I'm going to lift up that wing, and we're going to come up underneath the whole wing, and we're going to take about 3 wraps. 1, 2, and 3. And the purpose for counter wrapping it, you end up with your hackle in the front. Now you can tie that off to that hook shank instead of tying it off to the wing post. We'll go ahead and trim that. I'm going to have to use my scissors because if I use my poke and snip, I'm going to have a lot sticking out there. So I'm going to just take my scissors, put that right in there. Now I can take my whip finish and finish that off. Go ahead and remove my thread. Now I'm going to trim the wings. Take that elk hair wing on top. And I'm going to leave a clump there. And then I'm going to take those under wings or the side wings and I'm going to pull them back. And I'm going to trim them off. Just butt your scissors to the back of the hook and trim them there. And of course we can take them and push them back out. Got a couple of long ones, there we go. Now I'll take my head cement, put a little bit of head cement on there. Gonna take that take that hackle that's laying on the desk and run that through the eye, because I know I got some in the eye. And where's that other one? There we go. And that bottom wing just come out to be the same length as the hackle. And here we have a sulfur missing link. Again, you can tie this to match any mayfly or caddisfly hatch, meaning you could use it in different colors. Your body can be thread on the smaller ones, especially. On the larger ones, you're probably going to use dubbing if you're making a March Brown or Hendrickson or something like that. Got one crazy one sticking there. There we go. But hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. If you do subscribe, make sure you hit the notify button so you don't miss any of my videos. Please visit my sponsors and let them know that I sent you. Leave comments, questions, suggestions. If you'd like to purchase any flies from me, go to etsy.com/shop/theflymanjim. And if you don't see it there on my Etsy page, just send me a message and we'll figure out what you're looking for. If you could think it up, I'll tie it. And most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.